Finally, Pi Network's ATM vision, redefining financial access through decentralized infrastructure. What if I told you that Pi Network is about to revolutionize how we think about cryptocurrency by bringing blockchain-powered currency into every corner store, gas station, and shopping mall through dedicated ATM machines? As you see on this website, Pi Network's transformative vision enabling users to withdraw or purchase PiCoin directly from ATM machines located in everyday retail environments. This concept, once speculative, is now gaining traction as Pi's infrastructure matures and adoption accelerates. I want to understand how this ATM vision resonates with our pioneer community worldwide. If Pi ATMs launched in your area tomorrow, what would be your first transaction and why? More importantly, which friend or family member who currently doesn't understand cryptocurrency would you bring to try a Pi ATM first? Think about the local businesses in your neighborhood. Which ones do you think would benefit most from accepting Pi payments if customers could easily convert Pi to cash nearby? And here's a strategic question that could influence deployment priorities. What barriers exist in your region that might slow ATM adoption, and how could our community help overcome them? Let's now greet and welcome my fellow pioneers. Whether you're watching from Indonesia, India, Papua New Guinea, United States, Nigeria, Philippines, Kenya, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, I'm absolutely thrilled to share what might be the most transformative development in Pi's journey toward mainstream adoption. If you're new to this channel, you've arrived at exactly the right moment to witness history in the making. To all my incredible pioneers watching from every corner of our beautiful planet, I want to see your energy in the comments right now by typing Pi Network to the moon, followed by your country name to show the world how massive and united our global Pi community really is. But don't forget to smash subscribe button and ring notification bell if you haven't already, so you never miss an update. I'm Nathan as usual, and together we're diving deep into Pi Network's most audacious vision yet, the deployment of PiCoin ATM machines that will redefine financial access through decentralized infrastructure. We'll explore how this revolutionary concept transforms Pi from a mobile mining experiment into a cornerstone of everyday financial life, why this particular approach puts Pi years ahead of every other cryptocurrency project, and what this means for the value and utility of every single PiCoin you've been patiently mining. But here's the thing that will blow your mind. I'll reveal the strategic timeline and show you exactly why this ATM vision solves the biggest problem plaguing cryptocurrency adoption worldwide. Stay until the very end, because I have exclusive insights about which regions will see the first deployments and why this could trigger the mainstream breakthrough we've all been waiting for. Pi Network's ATM vision represents something far more profound than simply adding another way to access cryptocurrency. This initiative is fundamentally redefining what it means to have financial access in our increasingly digital world. While traditional cryptocurrencies remain trapped in the digital realm, accessible only to those with smartphones, reliable internet, and technical expertise, Pi Network is boldly stepping into physical reality where true financial inclusion happens. The revolutionary aspect lies in how these machines integrate Pi's community validation system directly into physical transactions. When you withdraw PiCoin or convert it to local currency, the transaction gets verified through Pi's distributed network of real users, creating security that surpasses traditional banking while maintaining the transparency that makes blockchain valuable. What sets Pi apart is the embedded identity verification that makes every transaction compliant with financial regulations without requiring users to understand complex technical processes. Your grandmother could walk up to a Pi ATM and interact with advanced blockchain technology as easily as checking her savings account balance. This infrastructure deployment positions Pi Network to capture massive untapped markets that traditional cryptocurrencies cannot reach. In regions where banking infrastructure is limited, Pi ATMs could become the primary access point for modern financial services. Consider the economic impact when a street vendor in Lagos can accept Pi payments from international customers and convert them instantly to local currency without paying crushing remittance fees. The strategic timing aligns perfectly with global shifts toward digital payment adoption. Central banks worldwide are exploring digital currencies, but they're struggling with the accessibility challenges that Pi's ATM network solves elegantly. Pi's community validation model ensures ATM locations serve actual user needs rather than corporate profit maximization. With tens of millions of engaged users providing real-world feedback, Pi can deploy ATMs where they create genuine value for underserved populations rather than just wealthy urban centers. The embedded KYC and AML protocols mean Pi ATMs operate within existing regulatory frameworks while maintaining decentralized principles. This compliance-first approach attracts institutional cooperation and regulatory support that other cryptocurrency projects struggle to achieve. Pi Network's mobile-first design creates unique advantages for ATM integration that become apparent when examining the technical architecture. The network processes transactions through community consensus rather than energy-intensive mining, enabling real-time settlement that makes ATM withdrawals practical and cost-effective. The blockchain's built-in identity verification eliminates the security vulnerabilities that plague traditional ATM networks, while providing audit trails that satisfy regulatory requirements. Each transaction carries cryptographic proof of authorization without exposing sensitive user data, creating privacy protection that exceeds conventional banking standards. Pi's smart contract capabilities enable ATMs to offer services beyond simple currency exchange. Users could access decentralized lending protocols, participate in governance voting, or interact with Pi ecosystem applications through familiar ATM interfaces. This transforms complex DeFi concepts into accessible tools for mainstream adoption. The scalability advantages become clear when considering deployment logistics. Pi ATMs can operate independently without requiring constant connection to centralized servers, using the distributed network for transaction validation. This architectural independence enables deployment in remote locations where traditional financial infrastructure struggles to maintain reliable service. Pi Network's greatest asset in ATM deployment isn't technological superiority. It's the engaged global community that provides grassroots support for infrastructure expansion. This community-driven approach ensures ATM locations serve real user needs while building local advocacy that accelerates adoption rates. Community members become natural ambassadors for merchant education and user onboarding. When local pioneers explain Pi technology to business owners and help customers navigate new ATM interfaces, adoption happens organically rather than through expensive marketing campaigns. This word-of-mouth expansion creates sustainable growth that doesn't depend on venture capital funding or corporate partnerships. The distributed nature of Pi's community provides market intelligence that guides strategic deployment decisions. Local pioneers understand which neighborhoods need financial access most urgently, which merchants are most receptive to cryptocurrency integration, and what cultural factors influence adoption patterns. This knowledge creates deployment strategies that maximize impact while minimizing risk. Pi's governance model allows community input on ATM network expansion priorities, ensuring that growth serves the community's collective interests rather than maximizing corporate profits. This alignment between infrastructure development and user needs creates long-term sustainability that traditional financial institutions struggle to achieve. The ATM deployment strategy validates PiCoin as legitimate, convertible currency in ways that purely digital existence cannot achieve. Physical infrastructure creates psychological trust among mainstream consumers who remain skeptical of cryptocurrencies they cannot touch or see. This validation effect typically triggers institutional interest and regulatory cooperation that accelerates mainstream adoption. Pi's approach to physical infrastructure demonstrates practical utility rather than speculative value, attracting users who need financial solutions rather than investment opportunities. This utility-focused user base creates stable demand that supports sustainable value appreciation rather than volatile price speculation. The network effects become powerful as ATM density increases. Each new location makes Pi more useful for everyday transactions, which encourages merchant adoption, which increases demand for Pi ATMs. This creates positive feedback loops that accelerate expansion while building real economic value within the Pi ecosystem. Cross-border transaction capabilities position Pi ATMs as alternatives to expensive remittance services and currency exchange operations. International travelers and migrant workers could use Pi for seamless currency conversion and fund transfers without traditional banking intermediaries. But let's talk about what this actually means for your daily life as a pioneer. The ecosystem development that's happening right now is absolutely mind-blowing. The Pi app platform has become a thriving marketplace for decentralized applications that serve real purposes. We're seeing digital marketplaces where you can buy and sell goods using Pi, social platforms that reward engagement with PiCoins, financial services that let you lend and borrow Pi, and educational tools that help people learn while earning Pi. The recent Pi Hackathon 2025 distributed over 160,000 Pi in prizes to developers who created meaningful applications. This wasn't just a competition, it was a showcase of what's possible when brilliant minds focus on utility instead of speculation. The winning applications included a decentralized marketplace for agricultural products, a peer-to-peer education platform, and a micro-lending system designed specifically for developing economies. What makes Pi Network truly special isn't just the technology, it's you, the pioneer community. With over 55 million active users, Pi Network has created something unprecedented in the blockchain space. These aren't passive holders waiting for price pumps. These are validators, developers, merchants, and advocates who actively participate in building and securing the network. The open mainnet transforms every pioneer from a simple miner into a stakeholder in a functional digital economy. You can now engage in peer-to-peer transactions without intermediaries, launch businesses that operate entirely on the Pi blockchain, and participate in governance decisions that shape the network's future. This level of community involvement is what traditional cryptocurrencies dream of achieving, but Pi Network has made it reality. The diversity of the pioneer community is staggering. From university students in Nigeria building educational apps, to small business owners in Indonesia accepting Pi payments, to software developers in Brazil creating financial tools, the global reach and engagement level is unlike anything we've seen in cryptocurrency before. Now let's address what everyone wants to know: the market potential and price projections. While we must remember that all cryptocurrency investments carry risks, the fundamentals surrounding Pi Network's open mainnet launch are genuinely exciting from an analytical perspective. Early market analysis suggests potential price ranges that could see Pi trading between 90 cents and $2.80 by the end of 2025, with projections reaching as high as $8.50 by 2027 if adoption and utility continue their current trajectory. These aren't just random numbers, they're based on transaction volume analysis, decentralized application development metrics, and exchange integration timelines. The key factor that will drive these projections is real-world utility. How widely is Pi actually being used for commerce, payments, and services? The early indicators from the open mainnet launch suggest that utility adoption is happening faster than many experts predicted. Of course, no revolutionary project advances without facing significant challenges, and Pi Network is addressing several important ones head-on. Regulatory uncertainty in key markets remains a consideration, as governments worldwide are still developing frameworks for cryptocurrency classification and taxation. The Pi core team has been proactive in engaging with regulators and ensuring compliance with emerging guidelines. Exchange listings and liquidity concerns are being addressed through the phased approach that has characterized Pi's entire development strategy. Rather than rushing to market with incomplete infrastructure, the team is building robust systems that can handle the scale and complexity that comes with global adoption. There's also the ongoing challenge of convincing traditional investors and institutions who remain skeptical about mobile-mined cryptocurrencies. However, the open mainnet launch provides concrete evidence of Pi's technical capabilities and real-world utility, which is gradually shifting perceptions in the broader cryptocurrency community. Pi Network's journey from mobile mining to open mainnet reflects a broader transformation happening across the entire cryptocurrency industry. We're witnessing a shift from speculation-driven projects to utility-focused ecosystems, from exclusive mining operations to inclusive community participation, and from theoretical blockchain applications to practical solutions that solve real problems. This transformation positions Pi Network at the forefront of what many experts are calling Web3 integration, where blockchain technology becomes invisible infrastructure that powers everyday digital interactions. The millions of pioneers who have been mining Pi on their phones are now positioned to be early adopters of this new digital economy paradigm. Pi Network's methodical development approach suggests ATM pilot programs will begin in markets where regulatory frameworks are most supportive and community adoption is strongest. The technical infrastructure already supports this deployment. The challenge lies in coordinating partnerships with ATM manufacturers, payment processors, and local regulatory authorities across diverse jurisdictions. The convergence of several trends makes this timeline particularly strategic. Digital payment adoption is accelerating globally, regulatory frameworks for cryptocurrency are stabilizing, and consumer comfort with technology-based financial services is reaching mainstream levels. PI's ATM deployment rides these waves rather than fighting against them. As open mainnet approaches, the operational capabilities necessary for ATM integration will become fully available. This timing aligns Pi's physical infrastructure expansion with the network's technical maturation, creating conditions for rapid scaling once initial deployments prove successful. The strategic patience Pi Network has demonstrated throughout development becomes an advantage in ATM deployment. Rather than rushing to market with untested technology, Pi can leverage lessons learned from other cryptocurrency projects while avoiding their mistakes in regulatory compliance and user experience design. Pi Network's ATM vision isn't just another feature announcement, it's a fundamental shift toward making decentralized finance accessible to everyone, everywhere. By bringing blockchain technology into physical spaces where people already feel comfortable conducting financial transactions, Pi eliminates the technical barriers that have prevented mainstream cryptocurrency adoption. This represents the culmination of everything Pi Network has been building toward since inception. The mobile mining that seemed simple was actually laying groundwork for mass user onboarding. The community validation that seemed basic was preparing for real-world transaction processing. The patient development approach was ensuring that when Pi enters physical infrastructure, it does so with solutions that actually work for real people. If this vision resonates with your understanding of Pi's potential, support this channel by hitting like and subscribing for exclusive Pi Network analysis. Share this video with fellow pioneers who need to understand why patience during development creates long-term value. What's your prediction for the first Pi ATM location globally? Comment below with your guess and reasoning. Remember, we're not just mining cryptocurrency, we're building infrastructure for financial inclusion that could reshape how billions of people access economic opportunities. Keep mining, keep believing in decentralized finance, and keep supporting each other as we work toward Pi Network's revolutionary vision.